the time. This runs 100% of the time. This one I only... Hi everybody. So today I'm going to do a video, and I mentioned this in a previous video, that I want to talk about how do I stay connected while I'm out on the road. Now I've been from New York, and if you look in some of my earlier videos, it shows a map of the US and how I kind of wandered around and went south and then a little north and then west and then back east and then north up to Minnesota for the sugar beet harvest fail, and then from there back southwest and then down into Arizona, and now out of Arizona up to Utah, and now from Utah back into Arizona where I am now outside of Flagstaff. So I've been in a lot of the country, not the whole country, but a lot of the country, and that whole time I've been relying on a hotspot that I have. I actually have two hotspots, and obviously I have a Verizon phone plan, and I have what's getting to be now a very old Galaxy S6. I've had that phone, it's got to be 3 years at least. Obviously fully paid for. It's not costing me anything. I have a Verizon, I don't know what the plan is called. It's a unlimited plan. And then I have a hotspot that's tied to that account. So I have a Verizon hotspot, and I'm going to show them here in a second. I have a Verizon hotspot, and then I have a second hotspot, and that one is what you might call one of those. Here they are right here. So here's the Verizon hotspot. That's the Ellipse, and that's one that they still sell today. That's new. And then this here is a previous Verizon hotspot. It is a 6620L is the model number, and this one is, and I don't want to come across like I'm doing anything illegal or anything like that, because I'm not. This is running on also the Verizon network, but through one of the MVNOs, they're called, and that's these resellers that you get a plan through, but then they use Verizon or Sprint or T-Mobile or AT&T. It uses their network, but it's not sold through Verizon. So that 6620L is through a company called Page Plus. So Page Plus Cellular is a Verizon reseller. So that 6620, hello, how are you? How's your eye? See, it's just got the scabs on it. He's finally stopped pawing at it since we've been in this area, so it must not be bothering him as bad here. That's a good boy. You gonna lay down next to Daddy? Okay? Good boy. So it must not be bothering him as much because he's not messing with it so much. So anyways, so back to the Page Plus 6620L. So that is through Page Plus Communications or Page Plus Wireless, I'm not sure. Now I got that after attempting to buy my own Ellipse and connect it up through Page Plus, and it didn't work. Well, let me back up. It worked. I got a SIM card from Page Plus. I signed up for their unlimited monthly plan, and I'll go over the prices here in a minute. So I signed up for their unlimited monthly plan and put the SIM card into my phone and activated it. And it activated no problem. Then I put the SIM card into the hotspot and it worked. And this was back when I was still in New York, before I had hit the road. And it worked. So I tested it all, everything worked. So I kind of put it aside and went on continuing to build the truck. And about a month went by and I had to renew the monthly, you know, it's a pay-as-you-go. So I went on their website, renewed it, pulled it out, went to test it, and it wasn't working. And I couldn't get it to work. So I called up Page Plus and I said, hey, I got this SIM card in my phone and it was working and now it's not. So the guy looks up the account and he says, oh, well, it says here that there's a note, I guess, and it said that this is not a Verizon compatible device and it can't be used. So obviously it is a Verizon compatible device. So here's the reason why. You're not supposed to use hotspots on Page Plus. Okay, so activate the card in a phone, then put the card in the hotspot, and it works. But then they kind of figured it out somehow. They, you know, I'm sure they got network feedback that tells them, hey, this thing is not supposed to be on the network, so they shut it off. So they gave me my money back, and you know, I didn't want to tell the guy what I was doing. You know, he was under the impression that I was using a phone, and he said, well, you can buy a new phone. And I said, I'm just going to try a different route. Can I get a refund? And he said yes, and they did refund my money for the monthly charge. So fast forward a little bit. So now I'm trying to figure out what to do. And again, this is back before I left town. So I start looking on eBay, and there's all kinds of sellers of hotspots on eBay, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. You know, all of them say truly unlimited 4G, 40 bucks a month, all these different things. And I'm like, yeah, right. So I finally settled. I said, I'm going to take the plunge. And that 6620 I ordered from a guy, and I had spoke to him before I ordered it. And I said, I'm going to try this. So they did the same thing. They get a SIM, they activate it on Page Plus, they put it in the hotspot, and they ship it to you. So obviously I paid him a little bit of a premium. You can buy those 6620s used for as cheap as $20, $25. I paid him a premium. I can't remember exactly. I think it was 150 bucks. I paid him to get a working 6620L on Page Plus, and then every month, and they included a month, the first month of service, and then every month I go on and I renew it. It's been, you know, I've been on the road since last end of August, so I had that thing working in July, so August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, now into May. That'll be the 10th month. And that 6620 has worked rock solid all over the country. So that thing is powered on and operational 100% of the time. So you know I've got the WeBoost cell signal booster. And that, I'm sure I've shown this before. It's up here in my cabinet. There it is right there. And you see the green lights illuminated? That means it has a cell signal and it is working. So the WeBoost runs 100% of the time. This runs 100% of the time. This one I only pull out basically once a month when they renew my 15 gigs. This gets 15 gigs a month for $10 as part of my Verizon plan. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll just pay 10 bucks. I get 15 gigs, and it is fast, and it's faster than this. Now this is, you know, it's the 4G and it's unlimited, but it gets the, what do you want to call it? When the towers are congested, the prioritization, this gets a lower priority. Now, when I've done speed tests, and I do speed tests all over the country with this thing, the best I'll get on it is 15 gig download, or 15 megabyte speed download, which is plenty fast for what I do. This thing works, I think I mentioned it in the last video when I talked about this. There's only been two locations where I didn't have connectivity, but I was out in the middle of nowhere and I knew it was going to be an issue, so I just sacrificed connectivity because the places were gorgeous and I wanted to go there. But when I'm like interstate driving, that thing is working, and on my head unit up there in the cab, my Android head unit, I'm streaming, listening to YouTube podcasts like Joe Rogan podcast, and that is connecting to that 6620 Wi-Fi hotspot. So it connects over Wi-Fi. And very rarely when I'm driving will that thing have a problem getting a good signal. You know, I'll be watching listening to the YouTube video, the podcast as I'm driving, and it just works. You know, there have been a couple of times when I'm driving along and the podcast is playing and suddenly it starts to buffer, but then it'll come back on. But that doesn't happen very often at all. But that happens with any, you know, even on your cell phone, that's going to happen. So the 6620 runs 100% of the time. It has a working signal 99.9% of the time. And I use it also, my laptop connects to it. My tablet connects to it. My TV is a smart TV, but I also have a Roku stick plugged into it. So the Roku connects to it. The TV connects to it. And then thirdly, I have an Android TV, a Mi box. It's up in the cabinet. I don't think I can even show it to you. And that connects to it. So that thing is my basic go-to standby connection in the truck that runs all the time, and everything connects to it. So when I pull into a new campsite, and the first night I settle in and I turn on the TV, and the TV, the Roku, the Android TV box, they all connect up to that thing, and I'm streaming Netflix or Amazon Prime or YouTube, and it always works for me. So the cost, what's it costing me, right, to have that solid of a connection that's enough bandwidth to watch. And when I'm talking about streaming Netflix and Prime and YouTube, it's in the high quality. It's not the, you know, the grainy looking crap. And obviously, most of the campsites, the locations that I go to, they're where they are because they get good cell signal. That's important to people that are traveling. So the farther away and the bad signals, you're not going to get as many people going there. So the places you go that are the more popular ones are because you're getting a good cell signal. That's why they're popular. So like where we are right now in Williams, Arizona, you know, as I was coming up into this area, I'm thinking, oh geez, we're going to have a signal. I get up here and I've got 3 and 4 bars on the 6620 connecting up to the WeBoost, but my cell phone outside the truck and walking around where it's not connecting to the WeBoost, it still has a good signal. So this place even has good signal. The 6620 is my standby, always on 100% of the time device that I connect to, and it's just, I don't even think about it because it works all the time. So when I pull into a place and turn on the TV, I expect it to have connectivity, and good connectivity, and enough bandwidth to stream HD videos and content. So the cost, what's it costing me? So I already mentioned that the Verizon hotspot that's on my legal Verizon phone plan is $10 a month. They offered it usually was 20, but they had a half price, and I think it's still going on, so you can add a hotspot to your account for another $10, and you get 15 extra gigabytes of data. So I figured that was worth it for an extra $10. I said to myself, if it turns out I'm not using it or it's not worth it, then I'll just turn it off, you know. The Page Plus, that's $55 a month. Now after fees and taxes, it comes to $61. So I pay $61 for that connection that, like I said, is 100% rock solid. It's always on, always working. Everything connects to it. Is it true 4G speed? No, it's not. You know, 4G speed, you're up in the 80 megabit download speed. It's not that fast, but it's plenty fast enough for everything that I do. Now, when I have to upload a YouTube video, YouTube videos, depending on their length, can be pretty big of a file. So normally, like yesterday, the video I uploaded, it took about an hour. The file size was about 850 megabyte, and it took about an hour to upload. I just hit upload and I set the laptop over to the side, and that's using my Page Plus 6620 account. If I am getting too slow a connection on that, that's sometimes when I'll turn on the lips, because it seems to be a little bit faster. Now, sometimes the 6620 is faster. Sometimes the ellipse is faster. Sometimes my cell phone, I'll even turn on the hotspot, because my phone plan gets 30 gig a month of hotspot data. So sometimes I'll upload through that. So one of those three will always get my video uploaded to YouTube without taking too long, without taking a crazy amount of time. For download, for content watching, I don't use the phone hotspot for that. I don't really use the lips for download for content watching. I don't ever need to. Some months I haven't used the whole 15 gig on the ellipse just because I never needed to. If I was at a place and I got a blazing fast Page Plus connection, I don't need the ellipse. I try to use it up every month because I'm paying for it. So usually when I go to upload videos, I'll usually turn it on and use the bandwidth on it just for whatever. I don't want to get to the end of the month and not have used my 15 gigs. So Page Plus, I'll put in the description of the video, I'll put a link to their website. I don't have any kind of affiliate. I don't have any discount codes or anything, unfortunately, but it comes out to a total of $61 a month for their unlimited plan. They call it the 55 because it's $55, but it comes out to 61 in total. It's a pay-as-you-go. It's no contract. They'll send you a SIM card. You order a SIM card, they send you the SIM card, you activate it, and you get up and go. So would I recommend like getting a 6620 yourself for cheap off of eBay and then doing it yourself? I would try it. I don't know why my lips got found out on the Page Plus network, on the Verizon network, and got turned off. I would try getting a 6620 today if I needed to do this, and get a SIM card from Page Plus and activate it in the phone and then pop it in the hotspot. So the reason why I talk about, I'm doing air quotes and illegal stuff, Page Plus doesn't allow hotspots. Okay? They don't offer that, and they don't, I guess, want hotspots on the network. So this is, it's skirting the rules a little bit. I've been using it again for 10 months and it still works, but I don't really want to have to call up customer support with an issue. Actually, the guy I bought it from on eBay, he recommended that if you ever do have to call Page Plus with an issue, take the SIM card out of the hotspot when you're on the phone with them. And, better yet, pop it into your phone while you're on the phone with them, just so that there's no chance that you can have a problem. So for I think, again, it was $150 initial investment. It was worth it for me. And then $61 a month for an internet connection that's always there. So that's what I'm doing to stay connected. And again, I use that thing with my Android head unit, with my Roku, with my Android TV box, with my Vizio Smart TV, with my laptop, with my tablet. All of those things connect to the 6620, and all of those things are getting enough data and speed from that all the time. So it works for me. If you guys want to go for that same thing, good luck with it. No guarantees, but it works for me. So that's it for today. I know some people have asked about that, so I wanted to get a video uploaded that talks about what I do. Everybody, thanks for tuning in and watching the video. If you liked what I talked about, give me a thumbs up. I would love to go into more detail about a lot of things in the truck. It's just that, I don't know what kind of interest level there is. I know I've had some guys asking about the electronics and the solar and all that, and I am still working on that video because it's so involved. If there's any other things that you guys would like to know about in the truck, just let me know and I'll make a video about it. I got no secrets. Nothing I did here was, super high tech, but I'd love to share anything I can. So give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of info. Thumbs down if you don't. Leave me a comment, and I'll see everyone real soon. We're still in Williams, Arizona, and for right now, we're here, staying here, enjoying this cool weather.